how do you make money on Chinese social media?
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
it's quite different from YouTube. That's as far as I know.
Yeah.
But could you explain some of the different revenue streams that, well, like an influencer could have
Wow.
here in China?
Wow. So I would say compared to the US, there's not a lot of options. So I know in the US you have affiliate codes, you have YouTube that will pay you for your content, and I think TikTok pays as well. Like I'm
TikTok
not
doesn't. In
TikTok doesn't in the
US,
In the
US.
US,
I don't
Do they?
know.
yes.
I
Maybe.
don't know. But so let's just use YouTube as an example. They have a really good, I would say like compensation. Is that
Mhm.
is that how you would say?
Right.
Yeah, for like whatever the like amount of views that you get. But on Bilibili, it's a lot less. So like we have a video that has half a million views. You'll get around 1,000
RMB,
renminbi. So
which
that's
That's
is
in
$200.
US dollars.
$150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So YouTube after you
$150.
can monetize would be half a
It
million would be
depends.
$5,000, or it
No, well,
depends.
different videos have different channels also have
Okay.
different
So like
rates.
a
For example,
genre.
my channel, which is a very small one,
Yeah.
I get about $10 for 1,000 views. So something with 500,000 views will be $500. Sorry,
5,000.
2,500.
Okay.
So,
But other accounts may get more.
of course. If you
I
take
think
somebody
it-
like Joe
Right.
Rogan, he gets I don't
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
30 $50 per
Yeah.
1,000 views.
see.
Yeah.
So so you have Bilibili does pay that,
Yeah. So
but much
so
less.
then that's honestly, I mean, I have, I would say almost 200 million views combined on my, wait, what, I'm not really sure about the specific number. I'd have to check. But I think throughout the 2 years, I've made like 50,000 RMB
50,000
Yeah.
from them directly.
from them directly. 50,000 RMB.
Okay, so that's not.
It's honestly compared to the amount of hours, my
It's
equipment,
not
and
much.
like
No, in
it's
2
really
years.
not that
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how about So what else? How can you make
Okay,
money?
so they don't really have affiliate codes in
Right.
China because, like, I mean that's just going on to like Taobao and like the Chinese version of Amazon. But then you go on to sponsorships. So that's how you would just make your money through sponsorships.
So you mean, okay, so you have a placement, or let's say you do a makeup,
Product placement,
yeah,
yeah.
you do a makeup tutorial and you use their makeup.
So yeah, there's two types, and I think that maybe some viewers won't be that familiar with it. There's two types of sponsorships. One will be a product placement, which isn't a dedicated video. So a dedicated video would be the whole video. I'm only allowed to talk about this one tonic.
Watsons.
Yeah, like Watsons. I'm not allowed to drink a
So
Coke.
it's a video about them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the product.
Dedicated to them.
Okay.
Or a product placement would just be like, I'm having this conversation and I'll
You
just,
just
have
drink.
a sip
So
and be
that's
like, oh
that-
yeah, this is Watson's, by the way. It's not that bad. Like, I mean, I drink
That's
2
less
of them
money.
a week. Yeah, that's less money because it's just a placement. It's not a dedication. So
Because of
yeah.
what you just said, this is not a sponsored video.
No.
It's not.
No.
I wish.
So at what point can you get to start getting sponsorships?
I think that actually goes back to keeping motivated because you don't just get sponsorships right off the bat.
Mm.
I would say you would have to have around 60,000 to 70,000 followers before you'll even start getting offers. And even at that point, let's just say you're by yourself. Like when I first hit, I think I got my first sponsorship and I had around 70,000 followers. I had no idea what I was doing. This brand was like, so do you want a product placement or a dedicated video? I'm like,
Don't they first ask you, like, I will give you free stuff, not money?
some of them do, yeah. And I would be like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah.
I would love,
In the
I would love
beginning,
to,
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you get the free stuff, and they're like, so when are you gonna post about it? I'm like, wait, I mean, I don't really like your product. I'm really sorry. Well, we
yeah.
just gave you a bunch of free stuff. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, so there's strings attached to it.
Right.
I think that the bigger you get, the less they'll kind of bug you on that. They'll be happy that they have your address and they can send you
I'm
stuff.
really, really interested in this because something is happening to me, and perhaps some of you guys know. I'm getting kind of like suggestion to become a KOL for an electric car brand that I bought,
Yeah.
and I made a video, and it got like boom,
Yeah.
really, really big. Right
Yeah.
now, it's like my most viewed video.
How many views?
Not close to her.
No,
Yeah.
that's
no,
like
I'm not.
20,
Like,
22,000.
oh, that's really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a 40-minute video,
Oh,
so
wow.
but watch
Yeah.
time is pew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they approached me and they want me to do some videos, and I'm like, I have no idea. Same thing. I have no
Exactly.
idea. They've sent me
How the deal should be.
a couple
and-
of
yeah,
presents
yeah.
and whatnot, but there's nothing written, there's no contract. You
Right.
have a
Yeah.
contract, you have an agent.
Oh yeah, I do. But
Okay,
as
can
far
we
as
talk
like,
about that then?
yeah. I mean, as far as like brand to me, like my suggestion would be to definitely get something in writing. So like usually a contract will have, besides like a list of things that you have to say, like that the script, there's like a, like you would write a script, they'll confirm it. If it's all good, then you'll just film it. But then there's like a, like in the contract, usually the brands will require you to keep it up for 6 months. Like they'll say no deleting the video within 6 months.
Okay.
Because some, I would say,
Why
I
would
don't
people
know.
delete videos?
I don't know.
People do this with moments, even in WeChat. It's very hard to understand the culture, Chinese culture.
Yeah, no, I think I think it happens with like Western bloggers as well.
Yeah?
Like maybe they'll just take a sponsorship and then like maybe a week
The
two
competitor
later,
comes back and is like, hey, how about this one?
Right,
Yeah,
come on, yeah. It's,
Oh,
exactly.
sometimes just people make mistakes. I mean, it happens a lot on YouTube and Chinese YouTubers.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but-
Western Chinese YouTubers, they say something that they shouldn't say, and they
Oh
so
yeah.
go back and
But
So
you're
if-
allowed to replace the video, so you don't have to change the title or the thumbnail. You can just replace the
Oh, really?
MP4. Yeah,
okay.
I
So-
think YouTube allows that as well.
So when you get like 100,000 followers, which is sounds more achievable than a million or two, right? How much money can you make? Like, what is it?
Okay. So I think that goes back to like what platform you're using. So
Mhm.
like, let's say you're using Douyin, which is like TikTok. I would say that the follower isn't worth as much as a Weibo or like Bilibili long video
Right.
platform.
Follower.
Yeah,
100,000
follower.
on Bilibili.
This is
better
so
than
interesting.
100,000 on.
Yeah, because okay, so like as an example that I always love to give is, let's say you have your Douyin open, and within like TikTok open, within 1 hour you can see like 100 videos, right?
Yep.
More like 200
Yes.
videos. If you like just look 10
and you're
seconds,
just like, if not even 10, you
Yeah.
probably got 3 seconds.
yeah, you
Oh,
just
that's
keep swiping. So
yeah.
that's, I mean, you can watch a bunch of people, and you in return will start following more people because you have an hour to film, like about an hour to,
To fill,
fill.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then you could go on to YouTube or Bilibili or Weibo longer span videos,
Right.
and people, what, they have 30-minute, like an hour, they can watch 3 videos, 4 videos in an hour. So that'll mean that they follow less people. And so that's why on these smaller short video platforms, there are so many people who have more than 1 million followers. Like
It's easy
there's like
to
10 million followers, like 100 million followers.
That's
I
crazy.
have a friend
Yeah.
of mine who started like, I don't know, a month ago, and he already hit 1 million views
On
Yeah.
Douyin.
on Douyin.
Yeah.
Douyin, yes. But your
So-
followers are more valuable. That's
Yeah,
what they say. On Bilibili.
yeah, that's what
Yes.
I would say. Just because they have more patience and like watching all your stuff, and like they're really, what would I say, engaged.
Mhm.
So I would say if you have 100,000 followers on TikTok, you would get somewhere around. I mean, how much would that be? 100,000 on TikTok, probably 1,000 RMB per video.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you need an agent right there, or
No, you wouldn't need an agent.
so
You can
how do you
it
get
solo.
how do you get contacted? I mean, how does it
so,
happen?
Yeah, you would just put it in your introduction. Like, I mean, you have like a little intro
Yeah.
box there, like a
That everybody see?
yeah, that everyone sees.
Okay.
You go, oh, for like business purposes, contact my email, or they'll also private message you saying, hey, we're blah 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 brand.
And then they just contact you.
Yeah, and then you just go into the negotiation phase.
Right. So in the beginning you did it by yourself.
Yes.
So 2 years ago you started, right?
Yeah.
And the timeline of your followers, right? So can you give us some,
Oh wow. So last year in January, I had 10,000 followers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 10. I think it was 100,000 followers.
100,000 like
Yeah.
about a year ago, year and
Yeah.
2 months, or
Yeah. And so then now, I mean, I really just blew up in the past year.
okay.
So now I'm at like 600,000 on Bilibili.
Yeah.
And then like Weibo has around 600,000 as well.
Right. And
so,
you
yeah.
do the same videos for both?
Yeah. Sometimes, like, let's just say I get a sponsorship, and also sponsorships, they'll separate it. So they'll say both platforms is like, they'll ask for one platform if they want to test the waters. So they'll just
Why-
go, okay,
what-
how much for Bilibili, how much for Weibo, and
What do you
separate
think
it.
you blew up? I mean, you mentioned the term you blew up. Which video was it? What was it?
So I would say it's one video where I sat down and talked about different types of foreigners in China.
I think I know
You
that
remember?
one.
Yeah, it
Was
was
it
very
about guys?
controversial.
Tell
Guys?
me.
Yes, it was about guys.
Foreign guys.
Yeah, and the different types that are here, like the different kind of, I would say, asshole kind of guys that are here, like
Right.
you hear the stories of these like foreigners that come here, get a girl pregnant and then leave, and
away,
then
yeah.
like
Mm.
yeah, so it was kind of like the kinds of guys that you should watch out for. Like I mean, yeah,
So watch out for these foreign guys.
Yeah.
That
What
was
would we?
okay.
What kind of foreigners would we be? You know
Oh
us.
my
I mean,
God.
we know
no
each other since.
So
forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that blew up. How many views it has by now?
So that's my most viewed one, the one that I said about 10 million
Okay,
on
alright.
Weibo.
Okay.
And then that is like I think it's like on like 1.5 million right now on what did I say?
Bilibili.
Bilibili. Yeah.
So now you have more followers. How much? I mean, let's say you have 1 million followers, right? How much money do you get for dedicated video then?
Oh wow. I would it honestly, I hear this all the time, like it varies, but it does vary.
Okay.
Let's say you're in the tech industry, like in the
Mhm.
tech genre.
Right.
Reviews and
Yeah. So like let's say you have 1% of the people buy your product, like that you promote. That's a camera.
Yeah.
That's not cheap. That's
Right.
a lot of money in there. But if I'm selling a lipstick and 1% of the people buy my lipstick that
Right.
costs like $5, like that's not as much in
yeah, it
like
doesn't
Right.
compare.
yeah, so that's why it does depend on which
Right.
product you're
Makes
selling.
total
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So I would say you could make somewhere between 10% of, and this in RMB, so
Yeah.
like don't
Yeah.
think US dollars.
Right.
So I would say it would be around 10% of your follower. It would go anywhere from 5% of your followers to 20% of your followers.
Oh,
And
okay.
20% would be really high. So like let's
Okay.
say, yeah, that would be like really high.